take a minute now and just share a few of the misconceptions of the game, the kind of questions that people ask me all the time about their games, and if they focus on these things, they're really going to ruin their games. And the one that I always get asked is, well, Wally, should I keep my left arm straight? And I see people on the tee getting up there and their left arm is so straight and rigid that there's no way they can make a nice fluid swing in a circular motion around their body. Now, what we've shown you is how to take a nice addressed position. We've taught you how to put your hands on the club and then to relax those shoulders. And it's okay to let the arms just kind of relax, because as you make your swing, the swinging motion and the weight of the club head is just going to stretch your arms out. So I ask my students just to kind of just stretch your arms. Stretch them. Don't try to keep them rigid and tense. And then there's always the question, well, should I keep my head down? And that is a real destroyer in the swing. You want to, when you set up to the ball, we've talked about this in the posture, you want to just kind of glance down at the ball. Don't get mesmerized by it, and get all that focus down there and get that head down, because you can't make a decent shoulder turn. So keep the chin up. Get that athletic posture that we talked about. Chin up, and then when we swing back, the shoulders can turn right back underneath and through, propelling that circular motion around the arc, just like this. I think that's going in the hole. How about this one? Should I roll my wrist through the ball? Well, we've covered that in detail. And of course, you never want to try to consciously roll your wrist. That's why we've shown you how to cock your wrists. See? With the hanger. They just flow through. Don't be thinking about all these things, trying to roll and keep things under and move things and keep things straight. Just work with the training aids and they're going to give you the feeling. Then you trust the feelings. Now, let's talk about another one. You know, the powers in the legs. That one I hear all the time. Well, we talked about how the legs just support the swinging of the clubs. And what did we say the power was? Where's the ultimate power source? It's being able to set those wrists when you swing back and around and through. This is where the power comes, using this flailing motion. The legs support. Let's think about another one. How about hitting down on the ball? Do I hit down on the ball, Wally? I hear this question all the time. This type of action. Now, I showed you that with the tempo ball, didn't I, earlier in the tape? We don't want this motion of hitting down. That's why you've got the tempo ball. That's why you need to work with this to feel the circular motion. And when you do, as you get into your stance, you'll feel the ball gradually tap and brush the ground as it comes through. This is building the correct swing feeling. So don't try to hit down on the ball. Well, let's think about another one. Do I hit a straight shot by keeping the face straight on the target line as I come through the ball? And we've covered that thoroughly in this tape. When you come through the ball, you don't want to try to keep the face straight down the line. We've talked about let it continue around in its circle. Let this circular line come through and merge with the target line and send the ball to the hole. So don't try to keep the face straight. Let it just swing right around and send the ball to the pin. The ball should never be your focus totally, but the swinging of the club sending the ball to the target, which is the pin. So don't get all your focus down and make that your target and ever hit at the ball. But think about swinging through, sending it to the hole, like this. Just back and through. What about the misconception I hear all the time? Well, if I make a longer swing and a bigger swing, I'm going to be able to hit the ball farther. Well, that has a little truth to it, but it's a lot more important to make a nice centered contact with the ball to send it to the hole than to make a great big long swing, because if you try to make it long, there's a tendency to sway and not really make solid contact. A ball that is struck with the club head squarely at 80 miles an hour is going to go a lot farther than a ball that's hit 100 miles an hour off center. So think about getting a nice controlled swing, the correct posture, and then make that swing just back and through to the hole. I didn't even have to think about that one. It's right up by the pin. Well, let's think about another misconception. How about people say, well, should I sit on a stool, feel like I'm sitting on a stool when I address the ball? And that gets the weight so far back on the heels that you can't make a nice circular swing. The club gets lifted up, or there's a tendency to go way onto the toes. So go back over your stance and posture sections of the tape. Be sure that you get the correct posture and get into that athletic stance with the weight on the balls of your feet, not on the back of your feet. And practice makes perfect. Well, it doesn't make perfect. It makes permanent. Whatever you're doing over and over again, you're going to continue to do it. So if you practice incorrectly, you're going to have an incorrect golf swing. Perfect practice makes permanent. So practice correctly. Go out and take your time. And then lastly, this is a question I hear all the time. Should I go around, and when I swing around, should I hit the back of the ball? Well, let's take a ball and let's divide it into quarters. And if we're working on that nice inside path to square, the focus should be on swinging through the inside corner, the quarter of the ball right here, rather than at the back of the ball. And what I like to do, and I showed this in the driving section, is take my ball and set up to it and turn the Titleist or the label on the ball, take it from the back of the ball and just turn it a little bit this way. Now my focus can be swinging through the inside quarter of the ball, back and through to the target. Well, I hope these misconceptions have helped you to understand maybe some things that you've always wanted to ask, that you've had questions about. But the main way that you're going to be able to deal with these is to work with the training aids, because they help reinforce the correct feelings and they put you in the correct position that you should be for your golf swing.